Welcome back. It's time to open the door, and it's time to find out who's the next turd who's got shit in their eyes. And here's your host, the man taking on the feces of evil. It's Jay Scott.
Thank you, Matthew, and tonight it's Alex Belfield. So Alex Belfield is now a convicted stalker, and he's decided to come off YouTube again. Does that mean there's a gap in the market? So back in February, Alex Belfield told everyone his channel had received a 90-day ban and would go behind a paywall. It was in fact a 2-week ban, and when he returned, he said this.
Hello Chunky, it's the voice of reason for a Saturday after 2 weeks. I'm back here at YouTube to say I can't really carry on at YouTube. And there was a point I didn't make that I should have, which is that it is not an option to stay there for one very good reason, that I can't speak the way I speak anymore on there, as I've found to my cost.
So Belfield will go behind a paywall, and for £1 a week, you can still enjoy his content. But he'd still post a few videos on YouTube. In fact, he will continue to post more than ever. Like before, most of these videos would concentrate on what he would call the witch hunt against him by the BBC and Nottinghamshire Police. In fact, back at the start of lockdown, he set up a GoFundMe page.
Thank you all so much for your generosity and kindness yesterday. We raised over £10,000. So please help by donating what you can at the GoFundMe page.
Strangely enough, this would go against his previous advice to his listeners about GoFundMe appeals.
Beg you, do not give money by GoFundMes and PayPals and all these other pledge sites. They're ripping you off.
Either by accident or design, many of Belfield's viewers would be under the impression that he would be the plaintiff in an upcoming court case. In fact, this would be a criminal trial brought against him.
I know that he was going to court, but I didn't realise that other people were bringing the actions against him. He'd made it out that it was the other way around, that he makes himself out to be some bullied person that's going to right the wrongs of this, and he's going to have his day in court and he's going to see it right.
Why is Alex Belfield telling his viewers, I know he told him because I watched a little video of him saying that that it's all about the police and Jeremy Vine and the BBC. Well, you know, no wonder they're getting confused. When they're told lies, they've been gaslit. As I've told you before, in my opinion, I believe that Alex Belfield is the world's best gaslighter.
What is a little bit weird, though, is that many of his fans seem to be under the misapprehension that this case is about the BBC and their mistreatment of Alex Belfield. Indeed, not a few of them appear to be unaware this is a criminal trial at all, and believe it instead to be a civil action brought by Belfield himself against the BBC and the police in Nottingham. Whether wittingly or not, Belfield has encouraged this impression.
So how could so many of Belfield's viewers have gotten this so wrong? Well, for a start, the GoFundMe appeal started before the Voice of Reason even existed. Alex Belfield was a prolific radio DJ, clocking up hundreds of hours on the air. Alex would spend 15 years at the BBC, which would end abruptly in 2010 after a rocky relationship with the corporation. From 2012, Belfield would concentrate on his celebrity radio YouTube channel and website. This would be a very different style to what would become the Voice of Reason.
Come on! Don't scratch my carpets. Oi, come. Come on down, you can do it.
On this channel, he would do celebrity interviews and West End and Las Vegas theatre reviews.
This show is all down to the writing, but it's also down to the stunts. Act 2 proves there's not a second wasted, with one laugh-out-loud piece of nonsense after the next.
As this channel was all about cooing over celebrities, travel, restaurants and theatres, Alex Belfield soon found himself in trouble.
You must stay at home.
Yes, the government locked the country down, and unfortunately for Alex Belfield, this included celebrity, travel, restaurant and theatres. And this is what celebrity radio is all about. On Alex Belfield's own website, it states, Alex has never had a proper job. According to Belfield, he was on £86 a week universal credit when he started this show, Isolation Station, from his kitchen.
Radio late anymore?
Oh, because I asked for a pay rise and they didn't want to pay it, so I resigned.
Oh no, you were on mid-morning show, weren't you, for ages?
I was only on for 10 months. I asked for a pay rise, got the biggest figures in 7 years and resigned. Handed my notice in to Rosina Breen because she didn't want to pay me 50 quid more a show. She'd rather have fartheads on like Liz Green, who are a ratings disaster, or Stephanie Hurst, that's got the lowest audience in history. Any more questions about Radio Leeds? I'm a bit bored talking about it, to be honest.
If only Alex Belfield had been bored of talking about the BBC and those in it, he would have not found himself in so much trouble later down the line.
Now, these backstabbing cunts did everything they could, including having me beat up. And I will make a video about this very soon. Oh, it went to court and I was paid off. They had me beat up and they had me got rid of because I undermined them.
Now, while I couldn't find any evidence of a court case where the BBC had beaten up Alex Belfield, I did find this. In 2011, Alex Belfield did receive an out-of-court settlement from the BBC for a stunt on comic relief. Belfield would be hospitalised after being rugby tackled that he said he hadn't been warned about. He accused the BBC of a lack of care which amounted to bullying. Belfield said he was got rid of, and yet we've already heard him say he left Radio Leeds because he wouldn't get a pay rise.
Now, these backstabbing cunts did everything they could, including having me beat up. And I will make a video about this very soon. Oh, it went to court and I was paid off.
If that was the beating he was referring to, you can see how some viewers walk away with a distorted view. The channel would become the voice of reason, and for some it would be nothing more than a man talking shite into his mobile phone from his kitchen, often fixating on certain personalities and using silly wigs and smutty innuendo to do so. But for others, during a time of the most draconian restrictions, where people were dying alone in hospitals, and when funerals were being stopped halfway through if you dared to console a widow, Alex Belfield's The Voice of Reason was a ray of light and an escape from the madness around them.
I want my family though. This is my rights. Please help. It's cutting me to bits. I must see my kids. Time's getting on for me. I must see my children.
Yes, what is it for? No, could you tell me what you're doing? Okay, and are you raiding the house again? No, I just like to... Are you intending to raid the house again?
Right, do you want to come and answer the door, please, or we're going to put it in?
You're threatening to put my door in. I'm not resisting arrest. I need to speak to my lawyers.
Belfield would be arrested and have his house raided on several occasions, prompting MP Andrew Bridgen to bring this up to the Home Secretary. Most of these presumably were to do with the criminal investigation. But bizarrely, one of these visits was for an alleged bomb hoax at the BBC. But I'm sure Alex Belfield wouldn't be making phony phone calls.
Andy!
Hi Ian, how you doing?
Are you bubbling?
No, I'm confused.
Go on.
According to Ian Lee, this caller, Andy, who phoned him on his talk radio station, is actually Alex Belfield in disguise.
Well, I just literally tuned in 5 minutes ago and I hear you blocking people and getting upset with people. I can't understand why you do this job if it gets to you so much. I've never heard anybody so affected by celebrity than yourself.
Well, hang on a minute. I'm not affected by celebrity. You've heard 5 minutes of a 3-hour show.
If Ian Lee is correct, and this is Alex Belfield, well, it certainly sheds light on certain aspects of his personality and the accusations that would come down the line.
Okay. Why are you so angry about the way I live my life?
I am fascinated by you. I have tuned in on 4 separate occasions, and every time I end up feeling sorry for you. You're a person who's...
Andy.
Excuse me?
Andy, a whole 4 times. I feel sorry for you that your life is so vacuous and so empty that you have to worry about someone someone you've never met and you don't know anything about.
You attack.
Where's the attack? I'm feeling...
You
Andy!
cry like a baby. You make me sick that you could sit there behind a microphone, play the victim. Yeah, hang up. Cut me off because you don't want to face it because I've actually been in a corner.
That's the second time he's going to hang up.
After a 4-week trial, the defendant Alex Belfield walked back into court today to hear the verdicts on 8 stalking charges against him.
And we must fight for free speech and the truth. We shall go and find out.
In court today, the jury found Belfield guilty of causing serious alarm or distress to 2 victims. He was also convicted of a lesser charge of simple stalking in relation to the theatre blogger Philip Dehaney and the broadcaster Jeremy Vine.
Now, I'm no fan of the BBC or Jeremy Vine, but this was a trial by jury, and after hearing all the evidence, they decided that this wasn't a matter of free speech or a witch hunt, but that Alex Belfield was guilty of 4 counts of stalking.
You're now a stalker. How does that mean? Do you want to apologise to people that you're upset? Or are you going to carry on using social media, sending messages and emails like you have done in the past?
Belfield's critics have made the point that he wanted his day in court to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, but in the end refused to take the stand and mounted no defence. Some people are also still confused about the donation money.
And is the money going towards the 12 criminal charges that have been brought against you for stalking, or is it the defamation case that's been brought against you, or is it in fact to sue the BBC?
Yes, well, as you know, we're not talking about that. It's been given for legal, and you're trying to be a smart-ass, sir, and you know that we're not going to talk about that. But thank you for bringing it up. It has gone 100% to my lawyer. As you well know, Mr. Cleverdick, you're trying to be a smart-ass like Boris, and the problem is with silly voices like that. It's a twirly, by the way. Knew it was coming. We had one yesterday. The reality is 100% has gone to my lawyers, and you know exactly what it's for, and you know it's going to happen. You're going to get cut off for being a farthead.
And so we've come full circle, because after the trial, Alex Belfield released this video stating he was coming off YouTube again.
And we will be coming off YouTube. There is no point being here. There is no such thing as free speech, as I did tell you 2.5 years ago. Thankfully, we do have alexbelfield.com. The news will be back tomorrow morning from 6, and the phone-ins twice a week on a Friday and a Wednesday. But not here. There's no point.
But just like before, he would carry on making those YouTube videos. Well, okay, he's made 3, but all the comments are turned off. So what's next for Alex Belfield? Well, some say in September he could get jail time. And the only videos he'll be posting will be live from Her Majesty's.